Now, wasn't that something? Hello, my wonderful viewers, and welcome to another episode of Betty Adams Overanalyzes. Today I've got something special for you. Over the years, I have gotten many commissions from the artist ERA7 on DeviantArt. That's not her legal name, which I do know because, hey, there it was right in the, not the trailer, the credits. But I'm not going to try to pronounce that. I don't have a tongue that makes those sounds. All right, ERA7 on DeviantArt. We go way back. She is doing the animation for my current book trailer most recently. But I think I ordered my first commission from her in either 2012 or 2013. She has done many commissions for me over the years. And as you can see on the screen, she's done this beautiful 3D animation based on a project. I think I had her do the original artwork way back in 2015. And since then, her standards and her skill level have only gotten better. You can just zoom in, take a look at that amazing fluidity of motion there. For this one, she uses Blender, but she uses different programs for different projects. And I just wanted to do a review of her work. What happens is I get an idea in my head, either for a still frame for the cover of the book or an animation. And this is, I believe this is the first animation she's done for me. All of the commissions up till this point have been still frames. Her prices are reasonable. I'm not going to tell you exactly what I paid for each piece because her prices change on a regular basis and they're going to be different for every project depending on how much you're asking, whether it's a still frame, how many characters there are, how many seconds it's going to be, whether you want 2D animation or 3D animation. But let's just talk about some of the stuff that she has up on her DeviantArt page. Kind of the first thing you're going to notice, the things she promotes, are her 3D animations. Her specialty, the things she's working on for various reasons, is space dragons for her Spiritus universe. And you can see this glorious space dragon bioengineered spaceship thing flying through space. She also does 2D animations. As you can see here in this, something of a Spirited Away Princess Mononoke style 2D animation. And she has multiple videos up on DeviantArt showing you her process, how she develops these creatures in Blender and gets the results that she gets. These are really fascinating videos. She also has a, it's a Discord. Yes, a Discord server. If you join that, then you get a whole bunch of these how-to videos. She discusses how she does things and also offers a bunch of suggestions and even some free resources, various brushes and whatnot. So that's a good resource that you can look into. Now let's go just take a look at some of the various commissions she's done for me over the years, and we can look at how she's improved and how we've worked together over the years. Here we go. I think I've got all of these images lined up by date, but if not, well, these are basically the oldest to most recent images that I've commissioned from ERA7. Again, you can see her name there on the screen. But she'll always be ERA7 to me. That's what happens when you meet somebody with through their internet handle. All right, this is the illustration that she did for me all the way back in 2014. It became the cover image for my book, Dying Embers, which was published in 2015. This shows the shape-shifting living crystal alien Bard shielding his human friend, Drake McCarty, from the force of a violent thunderstorm in the mountains. The character Drake had been caught out in the storm, was caught in a flash flood, and this shows Bard rescuing him. This became the cover image for my book, and I use it in a lot of promotion. It is just a beautiful piece. My publisher at the time was going to commission somebody else to do a different style of cover art, but he took one look at this and said, no, we can't possibly get anything better than that, and this is what we're going to use for the cover. This was a commission I had commissioned recently after that. This comes from the same story. This is the character's Sal, and Sal is the semi-truck. He's actually a tentacle monster who lives inside the semi-truck. It's actually much more wholesome than it sounds. And this just shows an amazing amount of skill. The dragon is, in my stories, my dragons are less physical and more mental. So science has been developing this concept of how ecosystems have a certain level of ecosystem level awareness. A forest, for instance, will decide which trees live and die. It's not just a random individualistic free-for-all. Something in the forest says, okay, this tree is going to die and this tree is going to live. And scientists have proved that in a bunch of different ways. And I thought, well, what if aquatic ecosystem? What if watersheds? What if a river have that same intelligence? And I wanted to represent that in this picture. And you can just see how ERA worked the dragon into being part of the river, how the dragon's wings fold up into the mountains and these glacial river valleys. That is the River Yukon and its dragon form. And up in the sky, we have a spaceship, and then we also have various northern lights, the Aurora Borealis. I was really, really satisfied with this. I really, really thought about using this for my next book cover, but it would really only make sense to use this for Dying Embers, and Dying Embers already had a cover, so I was looking for a different image to use as a book cover. And oops, this is completely the wrong image. I did not mean to have it queued up like this at this low of resolution. But anyway, this was what I would become the cover for my next book, Flying Sparks. This is a scene from within the story. Now, I asked ERA to use this as the background for the animation, but she refused because this was done almost 10 years ago. Her skills have advanced since then. It made sense. Okay, so she did an entirely different background with the same composition, but a different background. These are Donnie and Em. This is an image that is in my book, Flying Sparks. And you can see how she has them laying down, the positioning of the fire. I really, really struggled when I was explaining this to her with the composition, but she took ERA7 took my scattered composition and instructions and just made a really, really great composition. I was really pleased with it. This was a commission for a completely different universe, my Humans Are Weird universe, and I asked her to draw up and actually make concrete my image of this species, the Shatar. And she just did a beautiful job, from the kilt the Shatar is wearing to their hands. Now, this is where I want to go into some of how she works with these 3D models and how she communicates with the artist, with the commissioner. All right, where are those images? Come on, no, I don't want that one, don't want that one. Okay, so this was the initial image she sent me. Before she's added the color and texture, she creates these 3D sketches of the creatures. And she sent me these, and they were really, really good. But I did notice something wrong. The opposable thumbs are too opposable. I had wanted the opposable thumbs at a less of an angle away from the rest of the fingers. So I sent her this image. I added those red lines. I say, I want the thumb and the pinky to be here to give them a more human-like gripping. Excuse me, a more appearance of a more human-like hand. And she did that, and as you can see on the final product, those were the angles that she gave us. And I was just, again, I was super satisfied with the final project. Come on. Okay. So, going back to the order I had them in. This is another commission she did for the Humans Are Weird universe. This is my alien species, an ungulate. This is my examination of what a non-cellular organism would look like. And quick note, if you want her to make changes, you want to do it when it's still in that black and white gray phase. It's much more difficult for ERA7 to make changes after she's got it to this final finished product level. But I'd asked her to make sure this looked like an alien world and make sure they could tell it is not Earth just from looking at the sky, and she did a really great job. And she really, really managed to capture the emotion of the moment, the curiosity that I was going for when I wanted this creature without eyes, face, or any discernible features, even you can't really tell which is their front end or their hind end, to be examining a human helmet curiously. Okay, then we have this, which was another one that I was considering using for the cover of Flying Sparks. And this is just a gorgeous piece of work. I had some very clear ideas about it. There were a few things that didn't quite mesh with my concept in the final project, but given all the details that I fed her, this was an amazing piece of artwork. And she sent me not one, but two versions. Where the difference being the lighting on the horns was slightly different. So I actually ended up making a GIF with the two versions, and it turned out pretty good. And again, it's the same two characters as in the bear scene. All right. And this is the one of the final images of the new commission, the animation. And just look at that detail. The snow on the mountains, the craters on the moon, the trees, the fire pit, the bark on the tree, and of course, the alien Sever. And we had a lot of conversation back and forth about this piece. One thing that was very interesting, she was kind of, it occurred to her that their backpacks weren't anywhere to be seen. I said, well, there's a reason for that. You would have to tie the backpack up in the tree because these are experienced campers. They're going to tie the backpack up in the tree to keep all the food away from any predators prowling around, to keep it bear safe. And I ended up, she goes, okay, I can do that. I said, and I knew it would be another animated layer, so I definitely didn't want to add that to our commission last minute, but it pleased her sense of, it satisfied her sense of artistry for that to be in the picture. So she actually tied up a hanging bear can of food up in the tree. And I just love this tree. I mean, look at that detail where she's this gnarling here, where there was a scar on the tree and the tree healed around it. It's just fantastic. And this is one of the base layers she sent to me where you can just see the background. It's just an amazing photograph. And then she would send me these updates showing me what she's doing. This is for the next loop. I haven't received it yet, but it's shaping up to be a really great piece of animation. Man, these human characters just look so creepy in these stripped down base forms. And these are just a look at how she uses Blender to animate these characters. This character was particularly difficult for her to animate because it's not a real life creature. But it just occurred to me that I'm not recording all of this visually, so now I'm going to have to re-listen to all of this and match the images, which won't be a problem. Okay, this is another version where we were discussing the proper coloration. Here are all the rough sketches she sent me, and these are kind of what you would call the final project. Oh, and here are some... yeah, these are some of her Spiritist dragons. But yeah, there's my book Flying Sparks and Dying Embers. Dying Embers is already published and ready to go. Flying Sparks should start editing. Should be done by the end of the year, but this is the first time I've ever done a Kickstarter before I had it fully edited, so we'll see. We'll see how that goes. All right, and again, all of this amazing art was done by the amazing ERA7. All right, now I've got to go and match all these images to the sound recordings. If you like what you see, go over. If you have a project, I definitely consider talking to ERA7. Her prices are extremely reasonable for the quality that you get, and she does good work. Hit that like and subscribe button, and peace out, my wonderful viewers.
Drake McCarty should have died when the flash flood shattered his leg, but something defied the very laws of nature to shield him from the force of the storm. Sworn to keep a secret he doesn't understand, Drake is swept up in a world where trees walk, mountains dance, and stars sing of war. Flying Sparks, 100,000 words of science fantasy adventure set in the Dying Embers universe. Two worlds collide in this science fiction novel, available on Indiegogo for the month of July 2023.